The next thing we're going to do is divide integers by decimals. And so the first number that we have always goes, when we have 4 divided by 1 and 25/100ths, the first number always goes inside my bracket. And so 4 divided by 1 and 25/100ths, we've got to put 4 inside and 1 and 25/100ths on the outside. If a decimal's on the side, we slide, and so it slides over 2 spots. The decimal on my whole number 4 is in the ones place. The decimal always comes after the ones place, is right here. And so if I slide it over 2 places, the numbers that go here are zeros. Zeros are like my placeholders here when I'm dividing. So I can put in my zeros, and if a decimal's in the house, raise it to the roof. So I can do that right away. 125 goes into 400. I'm going to guess 3 times. Because 3 times 100 is 300, and 3 times 25 is 75, so that would be 375 total. Or 3 times 5 is 15, carry my 1. 3 times 2 is 6, plus 1 is 7, and 3 times 1 is 3. When I subtract 400 minus 375, I recognize that's 25, or I can borrow. And 10 minus 5 is 5, and 9 minus 7 is 2. I can add another 0 and bring it down here. 125 goes into 250 2 times. 2 times 5 is 10, carry my 1. 2 times 2 is 4, plus 1 is 5, and 2 times 1 is 2. When I subtract, I get 0, and so 4 divided by 1 and 25/100ths is equal to 3 2/10. And if I want to know if that answer makes sense, I've got 4 divided by 1 is about 4, and 3 2/10 is close enough to 4 that it seems reasonable and makes sense. On number 4, I have negative 24 divided by negative 2 5/10. A negative divided by a negative is a positive, so my answer is going to be positive. I can kind of ignore the decimal or the negative signs for now. My first number always goes in my house, so 24 is going to go inside. 2 5/10 will go on the outside. If a decimal's on the side, we slide it over 1, and so 24 is a whole number. That means the decimal falls after the 4, and so we're going to slide it over 1 and put our 0 in, and if a decimal's in the house, we raise it to the roof. 25 goes into 240, 25, 50, 75, 100, 125, 150, 175, 200, 225, 9 times. 9 times 5 is 45. Carry my 4. 9 times 2 is 18. Plus 4 is 22. When I do my subtraction, 10 minus 5 is 5. 3 minus 2 is 1. Add a 0 and bring it down. And 25 goes into 156 times. 6 times 5 is 30. 6 times 2 is 12. Plus 3 is 15. I subtract and get 0. And so negative 24 divided by negative 2 5/10 is equal to 9 6/10 positive, because a negative divided by negative is a positive. 24 is good. Negative 2 5/10 is close to 3, and 24 divided by 3 is 8. 9 6/10 is close enough to 8 that I feel like my answer makes sense and seems reasonable enough to keep.